What's up, Portland? John Taylor, founder of PortlandRealEstateExperts.com.
And I'm Christina Bullock, co-founder of PortlandRealEstateExperts.com.
And we are your host for the show that brings you interesting people talking about what makes them unique,
What makes Portland unique?
and why Portland is such a great place to live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the All Things Portland podcast. I'm your host, John Taylor, along with my lovely co-host, Christina Bullock. How are you today, Christina?
I'm doing great. It's good to be here today. How are you doing, John?
I'm doing great, and I'm super excited. We have an amazing guest, Tony Iyke, and Tony is a titan of the Portland fashion industry, I like to call him, and he owns a fashion or a men's and women's and kids clothing store. He does some amazing custom clothing in Bridgeport Village, and we're super excited to have you here today. So
thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, maybe where you grew up and how you got to where you're at today?
So, that's a long one.
Where do you begin,
Where
right?
do I begin, right?
Yeah. You can tell us as much or as little as you want.
So, I'm Tony Iyke, as you already know. I've been in Portland for the past 15 years, and I love it out here. You know, I've got a shop in Bridgeport Village called the House of Rose, or Designs by Thor. I love it. I love designing. I got into it as a kid. I wasn't planning on getting into it. I went to school to be an engineer. And, but my mom,
Didn't expect that.
I didn't expect that,
Yeah.
you know? So she designed clothes. She was always very fashionable, you know? And she designed clothes, made clothes. When I was about 6 years old, was the first time I remembered, chatting with her. And I wanted her to hem a pair of pants for me. She likes me wearing suits. For some reason, I don't know.
So your childhood photos, you look styling and everything.
I look styling, yeah.
Yeah, so this is just your life. It's not.
This is just me. It's,
Always been like this, yes.
Nothing else.
I woke up like this.
Pretty much.
So, she's always done it from my bed. She's like, okay, I'm going to do one leg of the pants and you do the other one. And she's very meticulous. So she was there, she sat with me, and then she hemmed one full, trouser leg, and then said, okay, well, it's your turn. She handed me the needle. I threaded it because she taught me how to thread it. And then the hemming began. It's like, you got to do it this way, and then you go, and you can't do it too much because it's going to show up on the other side, so you have to gradually pick it. And her mode of teaching is anything that is worth doing well. There is no room for half-ass job, forgive the language.
Okay.
That's my grandma. Through and through.
Yeah.
I got that.
We are an explicit podcast.
Okay, good. So if you're going to get into it, go for it.
Right.
Do the best work in it. And if you're not satisfied, take it apart and do it again until you're completely satisfied with it. And it's not like, oh, yeah, I tried my best. No, it's not. You don't try. You do it. And I think it took hours for that hemming the other part. And she was very patient about it, but then we just kept going and going and going. And then finally, now I hem my pants, right? So, and then it wasn't necessarily a joyful thing growing up, because then it became like, okay, well, this is fun. And now this is work because mom is making you do it.
Right.
She's taking you all over the place, shopping for fabrics. And then it's all about not just looking at the fabric, the colors, but touching it. The feel. What XYZ kind of fabric is supposed to feel like.
Yeah.
Even though they might say it is this, but it really isn't, because it feels different. It doesn't feel that way. You can see some stuff that is polyester and they say it's silk, but it's really not silk because it's polyester.
Got it.
When it feels silk, you
know the difference.
You know the difference. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like you see people with like Chrysler 300s, they mud it up and like, hey, it looks like a Bentley until a Bentley shows up.
Yeah.
That's a good way of saying it. Yeah.
It looks like it, but not really until you feel the real thing. So I grew up in West Africa, Nigeria, to be exact. And, southern part of Nigeria, people there are very, hardworking people, very community-based and all that. So when it comes to that, it was just very, look at we're all doing this. Family is very close.
Right.
I'm super close with my family. For me, family is everything, right? So that's kind of set me up for the life that I live right now because, with my kids and stuff, it's all about family. I'm very close with I have like 6 siblings.
Wow.
And we chat on a daily basis.
Nice.
I would say my parents have so much love. That's why there's a bunch of us.
Are you the oldest?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest. Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm I'm the oldest of my crew as well.
I'm the abused middle child.
Yeah, the middle one. Lucky. Nobody remembers you for the most part.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of pressure put on you
Exactly.
and then to take care of everybody else and be the example.
We can go into all the issues that created for me.
Yeah.
So, it was beautiful. As a young boy growing up, you get to take care of the rest of the people, and you don't want to do that because, obviously you're a child and you want to do your stuff. But as a firstborn in an African setting, there's so much pressure to be able to be good and to be, the best at this because everybody else is looking at you. And if you fuck up, then they all fuck up. So you're not allowed to screw up.
No, you've got the pressure is on
It's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure, But then as I've gotten older, we're like, okay, well, that is actually a good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It sets
to carry with.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So she made sure that I was I call it domesticated. Got to learn how to cook, to clean, laundry.
That is a woman's dream right there.
Oh gosh, I hit it.
Your mom has got to teach them all.
Oh yeah, and I didn't get one bit. I'm like, I can do it, but then it's like, okay, you have to.
Now, as an adult, do you appreciate?
I love it.
Yeah.
Are you single?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, the husband material right here.
Yes, I am. Yeah. Even since I got into college, that was when I'm, oh wow, all my friends are looking for a place to go eat or whatever. I can go to the market, buy food, and cook food.
So he cooks, he cleans, and he can make you a beautiful gown.
And I can do that. Yes.
Say no more. And he walks around looking like a total stud. So
you should have warned me about it. Yeah.
No warnings here. Sorry.
So, but it was great. Growing up, it was a beautiful childhood. Even transitioning over here, we still kept that family bond, that family ties.
At what age did you come?
About 21.
And you came directly to Portland?
No, East Coast.
East Coast. Okay.
Yeah. So, toward the East Coast, I have uncles that lived there, Michigan, New York, Chicago. I lived in Chicago for a couple of years before moving to Portland.
And what age did you make it to Portland?
I was about 24.
24.
Yeah, before 24. I turned 24.
And did you know then that you wanted to do clothes and all that? Were you still
No,
still engineering?
I was still engineering. Then that was when I kind of dipped my foot into real estate and was the mortgage boom in 2005.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, well, I got into processing, doing loans, working with a major bank at the time.
Okay.
And but I was kind of gradually transitioning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I came here. Engineering is good. I can always go back to doing it, but the money is kind of here right now. Let's see what's going on.
Right.
Let's chase this American dream for a little bit.
Yeah.
So moving out here, I didn't plan on moving. I came to visit some friends.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as the airplane was getting to Portland, I looked down and saw like trees.
It's beautiful.
Yes. Oh, and I love snow. Believe it or not.
That's unique.
I do love snow. So I saw my hood. Wow, look at all this snow, right? And then I looked and it was all trees. I'm like, this reminds me of back home.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Nigeria is in the western part of Africa, which is very tropical, especially the southern part of it.
Right.
So it's like Hawaii. I always say it's just like Hawaii.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
The same trees, the same climate, except we have snakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll stick with Hawaii.
Bad snakes, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Bad snakes.
and the infrastructure is not as fun as Hawaii anyways, but the same thing is like the whole nature part of it, right? So flying over it, I was like, wow, I'm in love already. And then we touch down, get out of the airplane, the fresh air just hit you.
Right.
Like, I think I'm
It's a
going to be here
little
for a while.
You knew as soon as you stepped
As
off.
soon as I step off the plane, I'm like,
That's cool.
this is
I like
it.
that. You just knew.
Yeah. Portland's pretty cool because you fly in over the mountains and the
Yeah.
river and, like you said, all the trees.
Yeah.
Maybe like
So-
7 layers of clouds.
I know,
You
right?
can't get it too
Yeah,
pumped up, right?
At
We're
least
getting
it's not
busy out
smog. It's
I'm just kidding.
It's sure a cloud.
So,
No, it is. It's
And you get some
stunning to
fresh
fly
air.
into.
Yeah.
It really is.
so.
It never gets old either, that view coming
So
in.
it was love at first sight.
It was love at first sight.
Yeah.
My friends that I came to visit then took me up to the mountain, and so Mount Hood, and then I learned how to snowboard. This was within the first week. And they're like, oh, it was like around like March, April, there was still some snow there. Okay, well, we'll just do like the little stuff. I got on some like, okay, well, we're doing it. And they say skiing is for girls, snowboarding is for guys, so you choose. Obviously.
Yeah.
I'm doing the guy stuff, right?
I'm not going to say which one I do now.
So they drove me up to the beach, and I was like, "Wow, this is
Just
it,
one
right?
other layer.
This is one other layer
yeah.
of the beauty of Portland, Oregon, and it's just like we're smack in the middle. It's an hour and a half this way, snow, an hour and a half this way, ocean.
Right.
So I rolled up my pants, took my shoes off, ran into the water, and
Run right back out.
They were all stuck
I
over
was
there.
like, what were
They
you
were there
thinking?
laughing the whole time. I'm like, you guys should have warned me because, the tropics is a warm ocean, right?
Right.
We're on the Atlantic.
That's
so,
amazing. You just
Yeah. So ever since then, I just observe the beach here.
Nice.
Yeah. Dip a toe in every now and then, but no. Yeah. But yeah, that's my story, how I came all the way living here now. After so many years, I'm still in love with this city. I mean, I don't think I'm going to move to anywhere else in the U.S., to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like I've traveled around,
Yeah.
and I feel like we have the best
I agree.
summers.
Yeah.
We
So-
have,
Yeah. Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
we
Sorry.
have the best summers. The seasons for sure. The rain here is nothing. I mean, people complain about rain. But I can say wear nice shoes out,
Right. You can still.
and it's considered rain. I'm like, this is like a drizzle, but an annoying drizzle because it lasts so long. But still,
I
it's
always
not-
say showers with the chance of rain.
it is.
It's
It
just a
really
little
is.
drizzle.
Yeah.
I'm like in the tropics. It's a real
It's a real
heavy.
rain.
It's a real rain.
It's a real rain.
Like with
yeah.
the umbrella, it's like someone is beating drums on your head.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm like, that is real rain.
That's music.
You
Yeah.
get drenched in like 10 seconds walking out,
Yeah.
as opposed to here, nobody has an umbrella anyway. So
So I want to
So-
hear more about your store.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you fall in love with Portland right out of the gate. You're an engineer when you start. You get into the mortgage business, and then you transition into some real estate. And
Correct.
from there, you all of a sudden you're one of the titans of the Portland fashion industry. And so, tell us about that. Like, tell us about your.
So a year after I moved to the States, I lost my mom.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
And it's really sad. A lot of people that know me don't even know that because I always still talk about her as in the present.
Yeah.
Right.
I felt that.
So that was really difficult. And she visited me a few months before that even happened. So that made it really, really tough. So as time went on, I didn't have any friends here. I didn't have any family. But design and clothing and stuff is what we did growing up. As much as that, I didn't love it as a little kid. As I got older, I started enjoying it.
Right.
She owned boutiques and stuff like that. So I kind of know the idea of what to look for, whether it's be interior designing or just personal styling and stuff. So it's not that I just make clothes or design clothes. I style clothes too. I can put the stuff based on colors and textures and all that.
Yeah.
So designing clothing was one of the things that we did day in, day out. She enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed doing it, for the most part as I got older. And that drive, that hunger just kind of came back.
That was your connection to
That's
your
my
mom.
connection, yeah. And I really put so much thought into it. I'm like, okay, well, I wanted to do this. I wanted to set up a boutique, do clothes and stuff like that. I got some systems in place. This was back in 2007, 2008. And then the big recession hit.
Yeah, the world crashed.
The world crashed,
Mm-hmm.
And then that all went on the back burner,
Got it.
right? So 2008, 9, 10, by 2011, I was thinking about going to selling real estate. I don't consider myself a salesperson. In fact, I'm not a salesperson. I like to provide information.
Mm-hmm.
So I went into my interview with this company, and I met with the principal broker, and she was looking, saying, 5 years, what do you see yourself? Traditional interview question.
Right.
I'm like, I want to, in 5 years, when I made enough money to open up my own clothing line.
I don't want to be here at all.
Yeah.
I know, but
It's a good thing to tell your potential employer.
I'm like, if I'm being honest, right?
Yes.
In 5 years, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to play an integral part of your business, but in the next 5 years, my plans are X, Y, Z. So this was 2011. fast forward to 2016 when I got into real estate. I never thought about this stuff. It was up until 2018 that I was thinking, okay, well, I remember that interview. It was exactly 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I started August 2011 and I left August 2016.
So here you are, pivotal
Hit
moment.
Your goal, yeah.
I actually did hit that goal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just saying that I'm saying is like, actually, that was, I never thought about it until like 2 years later after I left. I was like, wow, that is very interesting what you say and what actually happens, no matter the whole up and down that went on with the whole, real estate stuff. But still.
It's very powerful what we tell ourselves, right?
Powerful, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that was it. While I was still doing real estate, I always made clothing on the side for some colleagues like Quinn, for example.
Yeah.
Like Joe, for example. I made the clothing for him as well, and I was still doing real estate at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was like gradually, it started like coming together.
Mm-hmm.
My clients, when I bought, have them buy or sell a house, they knew that I did clothing as well, just based on how I'm dressed and all that.
Right. It's a conversation starter.
And that basically started building up that clientele while I started real estate. So when I left, I started doing clothing full time. It wasn't easy. I wasn't going to be able to afford a client. They already all know me that I did this as well. So yeah, so that's how the whole clothing thing started from inception, a few steps, tons of steps, ups and downs to finally.
Yeah, it's never a straight line.
It was never a straight line.
No, it's not. So your clothing store is
the House of Rose,
and it's
Designs by Thor in
Bridgeport Village.
Bridgeport Village.
Yeah, in Tigard.
And I know you have leather goods there too, because
I
I'm
do.
constantly admiring those
I do have
on
leather
your
goods,
social
yeah.
media.
Yes.
So anything else that you feature you want to talk about before we take a break here?
There's a few accessories and stuff, but the website, if you get on the website, www.designsbythor.com, then you see a bunch of different stuff, like different bags for like business people or travel bags.
Super sharp looking bags, like beautiful bags.
Yes. They have to
Yeah, I've been in the
There's
store. Everything in there is amazing.
It's a
Absolutely.
statement, right?
They have to
I
be
think
good.
everything's a statement that you do. It's like, wow.
There's no sneak around with my stuff.
No,
Yeah.
like it's on what you
Either
can
do it
tell.
well or don't
Either
do it at all.
don't do it
Like
at all,
his
yeah.
mom taught him.
I think it bleeds through everything.
Thank
So, yeah, I think we'll end on that here. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to jump into, after listening to our sponsor, of course, we're going to jump into the infamous Portland package and see what Tony has to say about that.
You want the absolute best for yourself, and you want it to be easy. That's why we created Green 85. It helps with detoxifying the body gently. We're proud it's chemical-free, unlike almost all other supplements you'll find. Bottom line, Green 85 will get you healthier. We look forward to hearing what Green 85 did for you.
To get this product and our other amazing products, go to chemicalfreebody.com. That's chemicalfreebody.com.
Welcome back, everyone. And I'm John Taylor, along with my co-host, Christina Bullock. And we're back with our guest, Tony Iyke, owner of the House of Rose, Designs by Thor. And we're going to talk about the infamous Portland package. And so if you don't know what it is, the Portland package is basically just three things that if you were bringing an out-of-town guest, what are the three places you would take them to really show off Portland? And so, Tony, if you, what would be your Portland package if you were going to bring an out-of-town guest and really highlight,
We know you fell in love right away.
I fell in love
and you
right
kind
away.
of touched on a little bit of it already.
Yeah. I mean,
Those were things that made you fall in love with it.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. I mean, talked about the mountains and the snow and the ocean, which is amazing beauty, and the nature part of it is just ridiculous here. But if I'm to have a friend come into town and get up from the airport, obviously we're gonna eat something, right?
yeah.
So I'd go to, depends on the mood. I love Portland City Grill. I always have been a fan of. That used to be my go-to at least twice a week.
Right? There was a time there
Portland
that
City Grill.
we spent a lot
Great
of time
food.
there.
Oh yeah,
Great food, great ambiance, and
great
incredible
views. Oh yeah, incredible views. Top of one of the tallest buildings in Portland. And again, if you want something a little bit more low key, more casual, I'd say export or departure.
Oh yeah, all
Yes.
beautiful. So
Archer's
you like
great, yeah.
Rooftop deck.
You like views.
I love views.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm seeing a
I
trend
love
here.
views, Yeah.
Yeah, those are great ways to show off Portland.
Show off Portland, get to see the beautiful skyline, great food, great ambiance. For the nature part of it, I say take a drive to, say, Hood River. You stop at Multnomah Falls anyways, but Hood River is great.
Yeah.
Because that is almost like on the drier side of things. It's not a whole lot of showers and drizzles, but
Right.
then Multnomah Falls, pit stop on the way,
Yep.
taking the views. If you can do the walk all the way up, do the walk all the way up. It's very, very worth it up there.
Yeah, it's a great hike.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of hiking trails around
You
here.
can stop anywhere.
You can stop anywhere.
Really? Yeah.
If you want to do something nature-wise inside Portland itself, you just hike up to Pittock Mansion.
Oh, I do. I just had
Oh,
had
yeah.
family in town. We
Yeah,
went.
that's a great hike.
It's a beautiful view again. It's a little nice fun hike. Get up there and you just see this old school wonderful mansion that is sitting there. Take pictures and just take it all in. It's a
Isn't it
small
incredible to think about them building that mansion back
Yeah, I know.
when it all started?
Yeah.
And that he started the
The architecture and
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
it's
quality of
and
the
the
workmanship.
magazine and the
Yeah.
news. And
Yeah.
the whole history behind it,
Yeah.
I think, is
It's a
definitely.
very beautiful. Portland is very history rich in so many different aspects of it.
Mhm.
So it all depends. If you want to hit the books and look around, you always
Right.
see a lot of good things that came out of here. And of course, every city has its ups and downs in history, but it's a good spot.
Kind of feel like the Rose Garden has to be your thing, though.
It is for sports, of course. You gotta go.
You kind of have to go there.
You have to. We're in the city of roses, So you have to go visit the roses, and I have a few roses, plants around my house.
Yep.
Yes,
The House
I
of Rose.
always have.
You got to represent.
That's my most favorite flower, actually.
And that's how you, is that how you, was it city related or?
Her name is Rose too.
Oh,
So when I named my business, the House of Rose was actually like you're walking into Mama Rose's house.
yeah.
That was
Oh.
the whole point of it. So I said, okay, the House of Rose is going to be the business name. I came up with this in 2013. But it sounds too long to be on a label, on a shirt or a suit. So that's where Designs by Thor, which stands for the House of Rose, came into play.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm
That's
like,
really special.
when I build a flagship, when I build a shop, it will have to be named the House of Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not Designs by Thor, it will have to be the House of
The
Rose. So when you
actual-
come in, it's
yep.
like you're coming to see.
And it works well on your stuff. I see your
Oh, yeah.
floor right there on the cuffs.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I've got
That's
this.
perfect.
Yeah.
And the rose.
cuff
Wow.
lines.
Oh, you
Look
got
at
the I didn't
that.
even notice
These are
that.
custom made
That's
for-
beautiful.
Awesome. Nice.
Yeah. It's all brass with, dipped in the paint and everything.
All
So
right. Yeah.
And you can find that at the store?
at the store, of course, yeah.
I hope so.
I think
That's
I'm the
beautiful.
one that has it. So.
Yeah. That's
You have
yours,
this
right?
amazing store. You have all these incredible clothing and accessories, and so it's they call it bespoke clothing.
Yes.
And so, speak to us a little bit about that. I kind of know what it is, but a lot of people might not. So
Mhm.
maybe tell us and our audience what bespoke clothing means exactly.
So the term bespoke is an old English word for to be spoken for.
Mhm.
Example. You come to the store, you say, okay, well, I want a suit just like this. And I have enough to make one more because I always tend to get small batches of stuff, right?
Mhm.
So we decide, take measurements and everything. Say, okay, well, this is for you. It's reserved for you. Somebody else comes in, it's like, I want that. And I'm like, it's already spoken for.
Okay.
You can pick something else,
Mhm.
but I'm not going to make you that.
Almost like one of a kind. Too.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's.
So all my original designs, everything is all one of a kinds.
Mhm.
I do not do more than 3 of a color or design at all. I keep it limited to 3.
Interesting.
That way, chances of running into somebody that has the same thing.
Right. You don't want to
It's
show up in the
very-
same
Yeah,
outfit.
you don't want to be the guy that just bought the same thing off the rack at
Exactly.
Nordstrom or whatever.
And then
so-
see 20 other people wearing the same.
Yeah.
So I try to keep it as limited as possible. I feel like that keeps it exclusive. You know, people tend to love that. They know that they can walk into a room and feel like
Unique
that's
and-
very
yeah.
unique, very different. You know, I love to feel that way. I don't like wearing what everybody else is wearing.
And it's just shows the thought that you put into everything,
Absolutely.
starting from where the whole business came from with your
Correct.
mom.
Correct.
That's great.
Yeah.
I didn't know that exact part about bespoke. So
Yeah.
It means so much more now.
Yeah.
It really does.
I knew
Yeah.
it, to me, it was just, it's nice clothes. It's nice to hear that history. And
It's nice.
stuff, so,
And again, with bespoke, is like a lot of it is from scratch.
yeah.
When it comes to tailoring, bespoke means from scratch.
Mhm.
It's made for you specifically. There is no preset pattern that is used for bespoke.
Mhm.
So when I'm making something for you, I'm using your measurements to create a pattern
Right.
that it is for you.
The body.
The
is-
body, everything. So nobody else is going to wear that outfit.
Right. It is
You know,
not going to fit
It's not going to
anybody
fit
else.
anybody else. It's made specifically for you.
That is, I love
Yeah.
that.
So that's what bespoke means. It's different from custom. You see here custom suits all the time.
Yeah.
It's not bespoke. It's made to measure stuff.
There's a difference.
There's a difference, huge difference.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
everyone tries to claim bespoke, but it's really not. Is it made here? No.
Alright.
Again, bespoke has to be made in-house.
Right.
So when it's sent somewhere else, it's really not bespoke
Not
anymore.
bespoke. Okay.
Got
You know
it.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's made within
absolutely.
the outfit. So
No, that means so much more.
I'm glad
Exactly.
I asked because
Yeah.
that's enlightening for me. For
Absolutely.
sure. I thought I knew a little bit about it, but I didn't really.
Yeah, no. A lot of people don't know. That's why I said most of my stuff is more of an educational, informational part because people come in and they're like, they make custom suit custom, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have all these amazing bespoke clothes, and then you have some also. You have women's,
I have women's.
men's, and kids.
Correct.
Yeah, which is really cool. And then you have all these amazing leather goods and accessories and stuff. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
some of the backpacks and the one with the bull horns is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I have a story behind that bullhorn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me hear it.
We got a minute
Yeah.
for it?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
So when I was starting this off in 13, 14, I talked to a few people, right? A few that have been establishing custom clothing in Portland. They don't do what I do. It's completely different. So, they design this stuff, they get it sent out to Asia, get it, bring it back in. It's all custom. But bespoke is from like, okay, I can make this in-house. I could be your back guy,
Yeah.
your tailor guy. You get your client, you already have the base. Now you can bring up your price and it's a win-win for everybody.
Mhm.
So a lot of them didn't go for it. Actually, none of them went for it. Your
Straight.
style is too edgy. Nobody's gonna like this. Why don't you move to LA or New York? That was what I got 95% of the time.
Yes.
You
You stand out.
Portland is
For
not
sure.
for you. It's too casual here. Why don't you move to LA or New York? I'm like, I love Portland, and I love doing this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to move.
Gonna make it work.
I'm gonna have to find a way to make it work here.
Yeah.
They're like, the business is not here. I'm like, I see people dressed up all the time. I know they're getting it from somewhere.
Right.
So it's either they're going to LA or New York to get it. And now if I'm here, they come straight to me to get it. I don't have to fly out to get it anymore.
Yeah.
So I believe strongly in the vision and the dream that it was going to work because I see it,
Mhm.
Then I started off. And then it just went like wildfire. So I put together that bag as a sign of sort of bullheadedness.
Right.
That's my stubbornness.
That's
It's a bullhead, right?
really
I'm like, yes.
it's a beautiful trait.
It's a big
And it's a
F you
beautiful
to
bag.
honor you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
I have this idea. You said it wasn't gonna work, and I stuck to my, guns that I knew was gonna work, and it's working. So, yeah, that's
I
how
think
that
it's
went.
going to
working
continue
well,
to
yeah.
work.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, your style is noticeable. There's no way if someone's wearing your clothes or you walk in the door, not
Yeah.
all heads are going to turn. It's definitely the show stopping what the pieces you make. So
It has to be.
it has to be.
It has to be. Otherwise, what is the point?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Why don't you go to like a department store and buy something?
Right.
If you're trying to hide, I tell people like, you want to wear my stuff, you can't sneak it out of the room.
no, you
Just so
can't.
you know,
There's
you know.
no
You're
not
gonna
showing
stand
up.
out.
You're gonna be seen.
You're
So,
going to be shown
as
up.
much as you don't, so you can go to wherever and go get something else, but I'm not here. I've dressed a lot of businessmen, a lot of attorneys and doctors,
Mhm.
and they want the conservative stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, we can do it this way, but let's cut it a little bit different to still make you look your best,
Mhm.
and at the same time still keep that traditional, refined, conservative look that you're going for.
Yeah.
And they said, okay. And every single time it's a hit,
Yep.
and it still turns hit.
I will
Yeah,
say,
yeah, turns
coming
heads for
from
sure.
coming from somewhere else, growing up in Southern California, LA area, living in other areas as well, coming here, it's not a style that I could see how you were turned down. And I love that you pushed forward through that, because we obviously wanted it, needed. There's people that come from other areas
Absolutely.
and even more so today. I mean, I showed up 13 years ago, and there's just more and more people coming to
Absolutely.
Portland. So your audience is growing.
It is growing. Yes, I'm very grateful for that. And guess what? Now I have a lot of clients in LA and New York. They come
They're coming.
There you
they're
go.
coming to
They're
you.
coming to
See?
Portland.
That's-
There you
They
go.
fly specifically to come and get this stuff. And
Good to
go
be
back.
bullheaded.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So-
I love what a nice tip.
Before we go to
twist.
break, I have just a quick question. So
Mhm.
I know you've been in the Portland Fashion Show.
Correct,
Is it
yes.
going to happen this year? Are we going to have a Portland Fashion Show?
There's been talks, but this is beyond our control.
Right.
We don't know.
Yeah.
It's a pandemic. It's happening worldwide. Everybody's trying to keep it under control. So
Mhm.
they're putting some plans in place to see if it's going to be able to happen. But hopefully it does.
I hope so
Yeah.
too.
I've been in the
It's a fun
shows.
event.
Yeah, I've shown in the shows. It's always great to run a great audience. People accept my crafts and my
Mhm.
ideas very well, which I'm super grateful for. I've won a few awards for it. Portland Best Menswear Designers, and been nominated quite a few times. So I am eternally grateful to my clients and to the friends and people that have supported me along the lines and along the way since all the journey began. So
Mhm. Nice.
so hopefully the show will happen.
Are you still you're still planning as if it's going to happen? You've got
Absolutely.
stuff going.
I have
Ready for it in case we can.
I call it the Corona collection.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, on that note,
Yeah.
we're going to take another break here, and we'll hear from one of our sponsors. And when we return, we're going to talk to Tony about Portland real estate and a little more about his experience in the real estate market as well. So.
Have you ever thought about flipping your own home?
Need to sell but cannot afford the repairs? We
have
have the solution for you.
With our Flip Your Own Home program, we can help you maximize your full potential profit.
For a free, no obligation 15-minute consultation, call or text us today at 503-382-7798.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm John Taylor, along with my co-host, Christina Bullock, and we're back with our guest, Tony Iyke, and we're going to talk a little bit about Portland real estate. So with that being said, Tony, I know that you were, as we talked about earlier, you were in the real estate business a little bit, so I'm sure you keep an eye on what's going on. So
Yeah.
how do you see the market out there?
The market is hot right now. It is. I've heard from so many different sources. I mean, of course, it depends on the price point, but the interest rates being so low as it is, and
Right.
the ups and downs with the stock market and all that, I still think it's a great time to buy right now to get into it and then gradually see where it goes. I'm not expecting a crash, as people say.
Mm-hmm.
I think this thing is different from what happened in 07, 08, 09.
Absolutely.
It wasn't like a London financial crisis. They changed so much after the whole crisis, right?
Yes.
So the lending prices have completely,
That was an implosion.
Yes.
That was from within.
yeah. So it has been completely revamped, and it is very different right now, which I'm very optimistic that is going to hold steady for the market in the real estate.
Good. Yeah. I mean, Christina and I, we both feel that way, but it's always nice. We always ask our guests kind of what their take is on it. And it's good to see what other people are seeing because, it's easy to look at it through rose-colored glasses.
Or just, our experience. Yeah. So it's nice to hear what other people are experiencing and hearing and know that there's some faith in the real estate market as well, too. So
I encourage people to buy. Like, get in right now. The rates are good. The rate is money.
right.
The lower they are, the better for you.
They're under 3% right now. I mean, it's crazy low. So
crazy low.
it's, I think, like you said, the housing is going to continue to there's always little ups and downs, but I don't see a big crash.
Yes.
If you can get in at 3% interest rate,
That's not
and
bad
then
at all.
you're sitting in a house, with all kinds of benefits.
Absolutely.
And, it's going to, the Portland market's going to continue to go up.
It will always,
Historically, housing always goes up. So.
real estate is thing for sure that will always go up. No matter how bad things
Right.
get, it's going to go down, but it will always appreciate.
Right.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we'll have that time. You don't have a choice.
Right.
So you buy your own place and put some money back in your pocket, or you pay rent and live somewhere else and put money in the landlord's pocket. But either way,
Right.
you're going to have a roof over your
You
head.
have to pay.
You're buying a house one way or the other.
You're buying a house
buying your own, or you're buying it for your
somebody.
landlord. Right?
Absolutely. So I'm like, why don't you just put that money back in your pocket and buy it for yourself, as opposed to you might pay a little bit more, but at the end of the day, it's worth it.
Yeah, over time. I
Absolutely.
mean, I call real estate a
It's
long-term
a
wealth
great
game.
term.
Yeah.
Long-term investment. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So.
Speaking of, what area of Portland do you live in?
West Lynn.
West Lynn.
Yeah. The
Nice.
Burbs.
The Burbs. So
The
what
Burbs.
took you out there? How did you decide on West Lynn?
The school district is great.
Okay.
Yeah. I've got time, a lot of people. So,
Yeah.
the school there is perfect for what I needed for. I'm on half acre, so there's enough space for them to run around and play.
That's awesome.
I've got a couple of dogs too, so they just get to do,
So you have ducks, a half acre.
dogs. Yeah.
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 Cool. Any other animals on your?
Not just dogs.
Just ducks.
Just dogs.
do you?
Yeah.
So do you do duck eggs then?
What?
Do you
No,
eggs?
dogs.
Dogs. Oh my
Dogs.
gosh. I'm so
Dogs.
sorry. So my yes, I've got a half acre in Portland too. So
Oh,
yeah, that's it. And a couple dogs. So
Yeah.
that's definitely the
It's-
little boy's life right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the norm,
That's the
uh,
dream combination.
Giving them room to roam.
Roam around. If I'm
Yeah.
not there, they get to do their own thing and not be bored at all and explore. And I've got deer all over the backyard. So
Yeah.
it's perfect.
And Westland does have great schools, and
Great
it's
schools.
a great place to live. So,
Yeah.
have you lived anywhere else in Portland, or have you always been in Westland?
Yes, I lived in Southeast. The first time, Happy Valley, and then Oregon City.
Oh, how did you like?
I loved Oregon City.
Yeah.
Yeah, small town, quaint. I think I was the only black person there, but I really loved it. I was there for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is that where you first started out when you
No.
came here? No.
It was Happy Valley.
Got it.
Yeah.
And
And
then-
a lot of time downtown.
You started your first store in Oregon City, though, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah. My first store was in Oregon City.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I lived so close, and it was mostly appointment only. So I figured, what's the point of going downtown, driving a half hour to go downtown for an appointment, as opposed to just going down the street?
Right.
For it?
Yeah.
And what I do, people will have to come to me anyways. They used to come to me at my house when I did it at my house. So
Mhm.
now having this, space in the as a professional setting, it makes it easy for them to come down there. There's parking, and
Right. Just a little nicer.
yeah. But commute convenience was perfect for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we also we like to ask people if money wasn't an object, or if you could live anywhere
Yeah.
in Portland, where would that house be, and what would that big dream,
The dream house.
the dream
Yeah,
house?
money's
be?
no object. You can just pick, this is exactly where I want to live. This is the kind of house I want to live in.
It was still the West End.
It would still be.
Westland?
It was
Yeah,
still the West End. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I'm 20 minutes away from downtown.
Yeah.
21 minutes to be exact.
21.
Away from downtown. And I could come downtown and then get out of downtown. I don't have to deal with the noise and all that stuff. It's a very quiet neighborhood. I'm like in a tree house, trees all over
That sounds lovely.
and all that. Yeah. Now, my dream house, on the other hand, would be
Yeah.
a single level house on top and like 3 stories underground.
Really?
Yeah, all right.
Like a bunker?
Like a
Are we
full
talking
bunker.
I
bunker?
haven't heard that one before. Tell us more about that.
I am telling you, I've had these dreams since I was like 15 years old about the kind of house that I want to be in. It's probably going to be on top of a hill, but it would be like dug out and it would stack up different levels. And then on top, it's just going to be like this tiny little house perched on top of it. And you have
You'll
no
never
idea
know
what's
that
going on.
there's 3 levels underneath. Is that what kind of an underground
Yeah,
layer?
yeah. There is no.
Bill Gates' house was mostly underground.
Yeah.
Like that.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. So since 15, this has been your dream to have an underground.
Yeah.
And what does this underground house look like?
It's just going to be just open.
Just like,
Different rooms and stuff. And it's just set up family things. And then up is not that big. I'm not a big, like, I'd rather live in that house than live in a giant mansion that you can see. I mean, even though 3 stories deep is going to be like huge, but still, I'm kind of modest to some degree.
you don't want to. Hey,
You know,
wait a
we can
minute.
tell.
To some degree, I said, you know. So I'd be there, and then it looks so unassuming as opposed to like, oh, this is like a gigantic mansion. And
Yeah.
So it's not like any doomsday prepping type.
Not really.
You're not. That's what
okay.
I was thinking.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were a prepper.
No, it wasn't
You're
about.
buying ammunition.
It wasn't about prepping.
Ready for the world to end. No.
That's cool.
There might be a couple of libraries that you push and then the secret door opens. But
Oh,
not for
All
the most
that,
part.
like, so yes, imaginary, like the stuff you could dream of as
the
a
little
kid.
boy stuff.
Yep, superhero.
But the house itself is understated,
It's very
more
understated.
homey and
Yes.
comfy than flashy and big.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
That's how my house, my perfect house would be too.
Or have months worth of food stuck in the pantry that is down there, so you can actually hang out and not have to go anywhere and just relax. But it will be enough room to spread out.
Nice.
Still.
That was very interesting. I didn't expect that at all.
I like
I don't
the
think-
idea. I think
Yeah.
I'd have a basketball court in one of them, probably some sort of an entertainment area,
Absolutely.
a bar and stuff in one, and then
Properly vented, you know.
Properly vented
So you
is
have
important.
to see how
Properly
Yes.
vetted,
Get
yes.
through, but-
Gotta think it through. Not worms over here.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I love that actually. So I'm more of a single level
Mhm.
ranch style home on a large piece of property like you have there. So that's my dream house. So U-shaped actually courtyard
Oh, nice.
U-shaped
Yeah.
with the courtyard
with
is
the pet
nice.
with all the flowers and
Yeah.
the fun stuff in the middle and lots of windows. Everyone can see all of it. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Is there like a seaside right next to it or something?
No,
No?
just it's I like the trees, the green, the all of that. But gardening and flowers are
That's
super important in that dream house of mine.
Yeah.
So
nice.
but well, I think we've wrapped up. Tony, for the day. I think we've heard almost everything we wanted to hear
Yeah,
about
absolutely.
what you do. And
Yeah.
We appreciate you joining us. And so before we leave, if you have a few things, just parting shots before you leave, how we can find you.
Yeah.
I
name
loved your
yourselves.
story. Love how.
My address right now at the studio, I call it the studio because it's the design studio, the store. It's 7459 Southwest Bridgeport Road in Tigard. It is in the Bridgeport Mall.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't miss it.
That's a
You know,
beautiful spot to be too.
Yeah, GPS just like you right there, shut up the freeway, so easy access. And process is like you come in, we sit down, could do scotch or whiskey or champagne or rosé or whatever your.
Sounds terrible.
It's very terrible, right?
Yeah.
And then we discuss and talk about your dreams and your ideas and what you'd like, what brought you in, what you're looking for. And then we look through fabrics. Some people come to me with like just a picture and say, okay, well, I saw this picture and I want this for me. We design it, does it look for body style and all that, right? So there goes into the measurement part of it. And then, the consultation concludes and then I start the work and all that. And in a few weeks, we get to a fitting or two and it's all done.
Yeah.
It's an experience.
Start to finish, what, 2 to 4 weeks?
Yeah, about 3 to 4 weeks. Yeah.
Very, very cool.
It's very
I'm
quick too.
that sounds
It's
very quick
the time-
considering what you do.
The turnaround time is pretty quick. I think I'm the fastest in the entire West Coast when it comes to turnaround time for a bespoke suit.
Yeah.
And I've had people that come in and they say, I want it in a week. And it gets done in a week.
That's all that training you got starting from a
I
young
know,
age.
right?
Paying
I'll charge you a
off.
little bit more for it. Yeah. I've had people come in and say,
Nothing
you know
wrong with
what?
that. If you need it now, you pay a little
Yeah.
extra.
They come in on a Thursday and say, oh, I forgot I have this thing coming up on Sunday and I want a suit. And
Wow.
I'm hard to shop for in the store. So now I've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday to get you a suit done.
And it happens.
Happens.
No problem.
Steady. Yeah, no problem at all. I don't advise it. Except if I'm too busy, but
yeah,
you
true.
will still
Yeah.
pay for it. But it's okay. It all works out.
Well, I've loved your story. I love learning more
Thank you.
about who you are, how your business came about, how you came here in Portland. So that was very interesting. I had a good time listening today. So
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being you and standing out in a crowd. And, thank
we
you
need-
for providing, avenues for other people to stand out in a crowd and have that.
feel good about
Clothing,
themselves,
yeah.
right?
That's the whole
There's
point.
there's a lot to be
Yeah.
said about that, just how you walk into a room. So
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah.
You dress, I always say, dress the way you want to be addressed.
Ooh,
know?
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You dress
Dress.
the way you want to be addressed.
I like that a lot. I think
Yeah.
that we should end on that.
Absolutely.
We'll end on that. Thank you very much.
Of
We
course.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you for having me.
Yes.
Thanks for
We-
listening, everyone. And until next time, have a great day.
Yes, thank you. And you know where to find Tony, Bridgeport Village.
Yes.
Designs by Thor, and All Things Portland podcast can be found on, Instagram, Facebook,
YouTube.
iTunes,
iTunes.
YouTube. So you know where to find us.
Amazing.
Yep. Have a wonderful day.